Hello guys and welcome back to BlueTube. Today we're going to be looking ahead to our Bristol Street Motors Trophy, it's a mouthful, game against Fulham under-21s on Tuesday night at whatever time the game is, because I haven't actually looked that far. How are you, Dad?
All right, yeah, still getting over the draw. No, I'm not, I'm fully fine. I'm happy about it.
What, in the 2 minutes from when we filmed that video to this one?
Yeah, it's been a long time, and I'm still drinking the same cup of tea.
This one's going to be a little bit more of a, what would you call it, unscripted, off the dome one.
Yeah, we just wanted to mention it because we want to try and cover as much as we can because we like the banter, we like the comments and keeping people involved.
But when you're against an under-21s team, which are people who, well, fans of teams that have been in League One for a long time now, have their thoughts about that, don't they?
I'll tell you what's piqued my interest is that we got Harris
from Fulham,
Stansfield.
Well, can Harris, because he's on loan?
I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so. I don't think he's going to be involved, is he?
No.
But we were talking about, do we treat this as a game where after the weekend, do we want to go out and get back on track? Because Davis will want to win everything, won't he? So do we go out there and play who we think's going to take us forward? Or do we try the players that aren't being used so much? What do you think about that?
Well, that's what we can get into. Let's take a look real quickly before we do at Fulham under-21s, previous games and whatnot.
So I think Fulham, if you imagine they're under-21s, they're on the fringe of coming through, probably a lot of first teamers anyway, to be honest with you, which they will play. They're going to want to go out there and give us a good game. Last time we played them, obviously, they beat us 2-0, but we gave them an absolutely stonking game. And the first goal scorer of that game, who was that? It was Jay Stansfield.
Yeah, well, this is it. And we've already proved in this competition that we are not immortal, not impenetrable.
Yep.
With that draw-loss. I don't really... It kind of confused me, the way that worked.
Based on that last game, though, Ben, based on that last game, I think we can give him a good game. And I'll tell you who... If he's eligible to play, I don't know if there's any eligibility problems with Jay playing against them now, having played for them against us. I'm not sure about that. Hopefully someone will know a bit more about that. I haven't even looked. Drop it on the comments if you get a chance to.
Right.
And, might let us know before the game. But I'd love him to get goal back.
Yeah. I'm just looking here at the Fulham's recent results. They just beat Stoke City under-21s. Ooh, massive. But then they lost against Chelsea's under-21s 6-0.
Yeah, but you imagine Chelsea's probably got about 3 first-team squads.
The thing
really,
is,
haven't they?
yeah, we can talk about that, I suppose. I mean, that's, I don't know how much we really want to talk about Fulham under-21s. I don't know. Oh, they beat Stoke under-21s.
I think we need to talk about what we're going to do. After what Chris Davis described as a disappointing result on Saturday at Mansfield. And it was, but we've already looked at the positives about that. I think we need to be positive moving forward, play a strong team. I'd go with Alfie May up front. We'll go through the squad in a bit fully. But I think we start with the strongest players we possibly can at our level and see what we can do about just getting our positive mentality back moving forward. Keep that win streak going. Get that back again. We haven't lost. The last loss was against Charlton, wasn't it? We haven't lost since then. We don't want to lose again. But it's going to happen.
I'm just looking at some of the players for Fulham under-21s to see if there's anyone that I recognise.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I've took no interest in the Fulham team because
there's no one in there who I can look at.
I'm just so focused. Even the FA Cup against Sutton, I will look at it closer to the time. But I'm so focused on Blues just doing well in the league.
I think if this was any other if this was a team, an actual team, no disrespect to the under-21s. We, of course, would look into it and do our research.
Strange.
But it's the under-21s.
It is strange. There's been a lot of complaints.
This is what I'm saying. People in League One don't like how they've done this to the competition. It seems like it's just benefiting the Premier League, but let's not get into that. Anyway, what I'll talk about with you is what we can do with our own squad in terms of the rotation. You spoke about Chris Davis wanting to go out and win the game, as it's very clear that he wants to win everything. Going with Alfie May up top, maybe leaving Williamson in to really make sure we hammer home a result and set out a statement, which is one thing that we could do. But then another thing that we could do, which I spoke about in the last video, is maybe rotate to the players who don't get as much game time, see if we can build up their confidence a bit against the lesser opponents, which, no disrespect to Fulham, they're still a Premier League under-21's team. It will still be somewhat of a challenge.
Well, that's why some of the regulars might want to go out and give them a game, do you know what I mean? I know it's ultimately out their hands, but let's go through the team then now. So would you, let's start with from the back goalkeepers, would you go with Peacock Farrell or keep Allsop?
Yeah, well, I think, obviously fitness is a factor, making sure that everyone gets their minutes, and a bit of testing, putting people in the limelight for a moment from the youth perspective and giving them that experience. And
so would you consider bringing Mayo in instead?
Well, yeah.
Or would you wait for the FA Cup to do something like that?
Yeah. I think I'd probably potentially wait for the Sutton game.
But then there's those people see the FA Cup as that big thing, which it is. Do you want to go all out for get as far as you can in it? Because it's revenue as well at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's one thing. That's why we're in this position. That's why we got these owners. It's revenue raising, and I think ultimately you can understand that, of course.
Yeah. Well, do you want me to tell you what I think he will do in the goalkeeping department?
Go on.
I think because Allsop's now the main man. What happened when this was on the flip side? You have Peacock Carroll in the league games, then Allsop would come in for the cup games. I think it's just switched. So I think we will be seeing Peacock Farrell perform against Fulham.
I do as well. And also, moving to your centre-backs, I think you'll see Sanderson come back in.
I'd love to see that. I would absolutely love to see Sanderson in there, because I don't think, we've spoke about it before in the Shrewsbury videos that we did a couple of weeks ago, I don't think that he's a bad player by any stretch of the imagination. I think you can look back at the Pakes. I mean, Stansfield, arguably, probably our only decent player, but Pake was missing last year. I'm sorry, he was. Decent player, but in that team, it was a unity thing again, where players weren't up to the mark, and Sanderson was just a part of that. He was scapegoated a lot. Yeah. But from what we've seen of him this year, I think he's a different player.
And once given, I'll tell you what, once he's given a spot in that starting lineup, if he doesn't put a foot wrong, he'll be there to stay until proven wrong. So yeah, I'd certainly give Sanderson a run. Ben Davies, keep him in, because I don't think Bielik's going to be ready just yet.
Ben Davies is giving Bielik a run for his money now, I think.
Yes, he is. I said that last week.
You did say that, and I was a bit, didn't know at the time. But I tell you what, he's so calm and composed. You got to think about it. The guy was sourced by, he's played for Rangers. He was also brought by Liverpool as well. Big club, and it wasn't too long ago either. Yeah. So there's things like that you've got to take into account for and think, well, now a player like that is playing for us in League One. He's not going to be just your run-of-the-mill centre-back. He's going to have a bit more about him, and I think he's starting to show that. But anyway, that's
I tell you what position concerns me at the moment. Left-back Cochrane, there's a lot of pressure on him.
He's played most minutes out of all the players.
Yeah, he's playing everything, isn't he? And Buchanan's nowhere near fitness. I think he keeps having
he keeps breaking like a twig, doesn't he? Bless him, wee big twigs.
But we've got that lad, is it Williams, that came on the other week in the cup game? He looked smart, didn't he? So maybe just risk Cochrane for the half or something, and then give the kid a half.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, because I know we've used Brandon Keller, haven't we?
Not his position. I think
it's not his position, but
uncomfortable when he's in there.
It's been like his sort of
way in.
Yeah, he's like apprenticeship, sort of. Build your way up, and I do like
Keller, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think he's going to be I think not at left back.
No, you want to see him in the team in general for Fulham?
I just not necessarily, but I just know that he's waiting to come through. When I think who we've got on the bench and who we've got around midfield at the moment are too good for him to work his way in yet, but I just think he's one for the future if we can keep hold of. Maybe bring him in like we did with JJ over the last few seasons.
Okay, no, fair enough, makes sense.
But who would you agree with the left back though? Bring in that lad. I mean, probably have to go with Cochrane, but would you start with that lad? Would you give him a go? Because I thought he did. I know he only had about 10 minutes, but he looked solid. Got involved in the passing, looked solid enough.
You can't really say unless you're on the training pitch and you're seeing them. But what I can go off as a fan is how he played against, who was it now? Was it Shrewsbury that he played against? Or
yeah, Shrewsbury.
Was it Shrewsbury, yeah. And the way that he played then, if he plays like that, and if he's keeping up those sorts of standards, I'd think about starting him.
I mean, don't forget, it is going to be a good Fulham team, it's going to be a different kettle of fish altogether.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we've got a chance of going out of the competition, actually, if we don't win this game.
Oh, really?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, really?
This is something that we should definitely be doing, at least actually looking at the table.
So going over onto the right side then, Ben, I've got no concerns for right back because we've got a number of options there. We've got Gardner Hickman, we've got Ethan Laird. I don't think there's any knocks on them following the weekend's game, so that's positive. You've got rotate any of them for me. Ethan Laird always to start with, but whether he'd be rested, you can bring any of them in for me. So that's the back line sorted. So we covered that. Moving on to midfield, I would rest Paik.
And a Water?
Yeah, probably. Oh, it's so difficult because I want to see good football. I don't want to wrap them in cotton wool either.
Yeah. Well, sorry to force you with taking up a load of the airtime there, so we don't have any dead air whilst I try to scramble to get this table. But yeah, Walsall are top of the table with 5 points. Obviously, they got that additional one because they beat us in penalties. I don't get that. It's stupid. It's just whatever.
Well, we hadn't got a clue what was going on at the time. We didn't even realise it was going to penalties.
Yeah, most people were leaving, and then like halfway out the ground, they hear a cheer. What's going on? Anyway, we're second on 4 points. Fulham had 3. Shrewsbury out the competition 0 because they're pants. But yeah, Fulham beat us 3 points. Takes them up to 6. Bang, we're out. So because
half of me, not quite half of me saying, yeah. Doesn't matter, let's just concentrate on the league, because that's me this season, like I say. But at the same time, you want to do well, you want to, because there's going to be a few fans down there watching it.
Yeah, and it's a cup competition. Whatever your thoughts are on the cup, whether you don't like it, whether you like it.
There's a trophy available.
Wembley Day.
Davis will want to win.
Yeah,
he'll put a team out that will want to do well. So what do we do if it's not Iwata Paik, or do we use them to some extent and then just ease some players in? Leonard's got to have a...
Leonard deserves a run out, I think.
I
think Harris coming back and his display, I know it was a 1-1 draw, but I thought Harris played really well against Mansfield. For what I saw of him, I was really impressed. I'd give him a bit of a run out as well. I'd consider having... you don't want to make too many changes as well either, because you don't want to disrupt the equilibrium of the team. You don't want to be thrown into too many unfamiliar faces, because they won't be used to playing with each other.
Yeah.
But who am I? What do I know? They're on a training pitch. They get on with who they get on with. They're professional footballers. That shouldn't really be a consideration.
If everyone, as Davey says, leaves it on the pitch, gives 100%, you can't argue, can you? There's always a disappointment of going out of cups and that. And I don't be negative. We're a positive channel. So
do you know who I'd start?
Go on.
So I'd keep the formation the same. I'd have Leonard replacing Paik, and I'd keep a Water in. I think a Water is the guy that really is the puppet master and controls the hub of the team, and he really gels them all together quite nicely. So I don't think we'd want to.
I do think you'll see Keller come on.
Yeah.
I do think he'll come on.
Similar to the Shrewsbury game, he brought on Keller for a Water at half time, didn't he? And on the right hand side, I'll see if Scott Wright is back, because this would be perfect.
I don't think he's going to be. I haven't heard anything on there at all. I've heard nothing about what's going on with Scott Wright. Does anyone know what's going on with him?
No. Okay, a few weeks away. This is where things get really, really difficult on that right hand side for me.
I would go with the forward line that we want to start with, because we've rotated them enough now. So I would have Alfie May up front in the middle. I'd have Stansfield on the right, and I would start with Anderson on the left. See, given that first half,
I like that. And would you have Williamson playing as the
10?
As the 10, okay. See, I do like that, but the only thing that I would change is because I want to see him start. I want to see what he can do from the start of a game. I'll take Anderson out, put Yokoyama in there.
Oh God, yeah, I hadn't even considered that. Ooh. Yeah, with Halloween coming up, definitely. Yeah, do you know what? Scratch what I just said. Yokoyama on the left.
See, got that knowledge, you know.
He's looking better every game, and he's always looked good. He's looked troublesome, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Turn them inside out, and anything could. We're getting some lovely crosses in. And do you know what I'd love to see towards the end of the game again on the cup game, with someone still putting these crosses in? Get Duke on.
Yeah, give him a bit of a run. No. No.
You want Lyndon Dykes on, don't you?
Yes, I do.
But you've got... Dykes is really fiery, isn't he? And he gets back really deep as he did against Mansfield.
Off the ball, he's good, you know. But Duke's just... he's a wonderful guy, but it's more... Do you know, it's more for the sentimentality. Can we be brutal about Duke? Bringing Duke on for me, that would be more for the sentimentality.
Are you going to be playing him? Duke's going to come on for you.
Right,
fair play.
Yeah.
Playing right back again.
Me and Chris Davis go well back. He's doing us a favour. I think it'll be more of the sentiment. He's been there for a long time. He's somewhat of an ambassador for the club at this point, I suppose. And it's like everyone loves to see Duke because it's Duke. And he's a wonderful character to have around the club. Speaks very well. A proper top-tier professional. But if you want to win games... And you've got a player like Dykes, who is just a younger, bigger, more stronger
you've got to give him that
Duke.
time to build up a bit of confidence as well.
No disrespect to Duke.
He needs a goal.
At all.
He does need a goal. Whereas Duke, he's just going to be a finish-the-game man if we need him, isn't he?
Yeah.
Love him to bits.
And I think Dykes needs this booster with the confidence now, and I think this game could be coming at the right time for him. You know, we speak about not caring as much about this trophy and like, oh, it's whatever. But if we do end up like going out or, failing in it, I'll be gutted. I'll be like, oh my God, we couldn't even do, get past the group stage.
It's a good job it's not a weekend game, isn't it? Because it ruins your weekend, doesn't it? Like it always bloody does.
Yeah, you do sour it a bit, certainly.
Yeah.
I think we're ready for some predictions. Go on then.
Right, okay, so we're a positive channel, so I'm not going to predict. I'll never predict
So we're going to lose 6-0.
7, I thought.
Oh, God, I shouldn't say that. Jinx it now.
No. Being positive, and I still think this is positive, if we get a draw, do we get to penalties?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so it's going to be 1-1. Stansfield going to get a goal back, and then we're going to win on penalties.
Oh, is he going to take a shot off and be like, never liked you anyway?
No, but I tell you what, if Peacock Farrell plays, he's going to be our hero in the penalties. He's going to save a couple.
Okay, nice. You always make it a bit of a blockbuster, don't you? Make a good movie, that would. Let us know your thoughts as well. Get your predictions in. What do I think's going to happen? I think Dykes is going to score. I think he's going to get his goal.
I'd love it if he did.
And I think there'll be a few goals in this. I'm going to go 4-2 Blues. I think Dykes is going to score. I think
that would be a game, wouldn't it?
Be a game and a half. I think so. I think there's going to be a few goals in this. I think we're just missing that
fair play to you.
Bit. And we are waiting. It will click eventually. It's coming, and we are going to absolutely annihilate a team. And I'm not saying that 4-2 result will be that, but I can see us getting a few goals. An under-21's team, not going to be that nurtured and developed as a unit, are they? I mean,
they're going to want to push on. They're going to want to show the manager what they're capable of.
Yeah, he's going to be bringing in a few more players to show them what's what and show them what they're capable of. As you say, yeah, 4-2. Scorers.
I love that, Ben.
Yeah, I think Dykes will score. Will May play?
You got 4 goal scorers now to come up with. Any hat tricks?
Do you know what? Lyndon Dykes. I'm always going to say Alfie May until it happens. So again, Alfie May. And now we've just got to kind of predict on who's going to be starting. Do you know?
Has Leonard scored yet?
No, he hasn't.
There's one for you.
Is he going to be
playing? Keller?
I can predict. You know what? I'll go for that. Leonard, Dykes, May, and
Williamson? Keller?
May to get 2.
May to, why not?
There we go. Okay, I think that wraps that up, doesn't it?
I think it does because it's getting very dark here. We've got no lights.
We do apologise about the lights, guys. I don't know how much it's affecting you. It's going to give me a right game in the edit now, this is. But anyway, enough about all of that before I choke to death. Right, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, please let us know your thoughts in the comments. We're getting so many at the moment, and we really are enjoying it. It's great actually hearing from you guys from all over, as I think we said that in the previous video, didn't we? We will see you on Tuesday. Take care, guys. Until the next one.